Welcome to our 10th module. We're now turning to a topic that's essential, but often misunderstood or neglected: spiritual warfare. As a follower of Jesus, it's important to recognize that you've been enlisted in a spiritual battle that's been raging before creation. Today, we'll establish a biblical foundation for understanding this conflict. In Ephesians 6:12, Paul explains, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This verse reveals something profound. Behind the visible conflicts and challenges we face lies an invisible spiritual battle. Think about watching a nature documentary. On the surface, you might see animals competing for territory or resources. But with the narrator's explanation, you understand the deeper ecological dynamics at work. Similarly, Scripture helps us see beyond surface level conflicts to the spiritual realities underneath. This awareness doesn't make us paranoid, but properly prepared. So what does the Bible teach us about this spiritual battle? First, it has a clear origin. Scripture reveals that Satan was once an angel who rebelled against God. Isaiah 14:12 through 15. He led other angels in this rebellion. And these fallen angels, demons, now oppose God's purposes and people. Second, understand the enemy's primary strategy. Jesus called Satan the father of lies, John 8:44. His main weapon isn't physical attack, but deception, distorting truth about God, ourselves, others, and reality. From the Garden of Eden, he says, "Did God really say?" to today, Satan works to plant doubts in our minds about God's goodness and twist our understanding of truth. Third, recognize the battlegrounds. While spiritual warfare sometimes manifests dramatically, it most often occurs in everyday areas: our mind, our identity, accusations that contradict who God says we are, our relationships, divisions and strife, and our mission, opposition to the kingdom advancement. Satan targets these areas because they're central to our effectiveness as believers. Fourth, understand the enemy's limitations. Despite popular portrayals, Satan is not God's equal opposite. He is a created being with significant but limited power. He cannot read your mind. He cannot be everywhere at once or force you to sin. But most importantly, he's already a defeated foe. Through the cross and the resurrection, Jesus has decisively won the war even as the battle continues. Fifth, we got to maintain proper focus. While awareness of spiritual warfare is important, our primary focus should be Christ, not the enemy. Some believers become unhealthily fascinated with demonic activity. Scripture instructs us to be aware of the devil's schemes, but to fix our eyes on Jesus. Satan often wins either by convincing us that he doesn't exist or by getting us overly fixated on his activity. This week, examine your own perspective on spiritual warfare. Have you been unaware or dismissive of this reality, or perhaps overly focused on it? Ask God for balanced biblical understanding. Then consider where you might be experiencing spiritual opposition, persistent thoughts contrary to God's truth, unusual conflict in key relationships, or obstacles to your spiritual growth or witness. Bring these specific areas before the Lord in prayer. Remember, awareness of spiritual warfare isn't meant to frighten, but to equip you. As 1 John 4:4 assures us, the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. You don't face this battle alone or in your own strength. Christ, The victorious King lives within you by his Spirit and fights on your behalf. Understanding the reality of spiritual conflict is the first step toward experiencing Christ's victory in every area of your life.